anyone who watches this, quickness and agility, they would be very surprised. I have never missed anything. I actually immediately said that Harvey Weinstein truly arrives at the core by, making his appearance in the face of this opening statement that had been actually delivered in the actual courtroom within a short distance. In the face of, the very initial statement that's been actually scheduled to be unleashed. And he actually arrives for that trial that's, about to be unfolded. I never miss anything. Oh. That's really easy. Everything you need to know about the coronavirus. Everything you need to know about the coronavirus is too easy, right? Let me actually read anything. Chinese coronavirus, which is really mysterious, may have possibly spread to Australia, as indications may have found in the midst of this virulent spread through the wildfire-stricken devastation. As more people truly probably traveled through the venues, they could have actually reached Australia, which could be the reason why authorities are suspecting at this moment Chinese mysterious coronavirus may have spread to Australia. And I actually dropped this, word mysterious, right? You think that I would not know it. You know what? Most of the times, not because that I actually didn't read it, not because I actually, I forgot this. I truly actually forgot writing that down, even though that has been beautifully mentioned by my mouth. I can actually put that down. It's never been difficult. But let me actually show you. If you have any doubt about my quickness, let me actually represent it to you. How quickly I can actually read anything. Major doctor groups call for a medical care for all the people by providing an equal treatment for all the people. Let me actually write this down once more. Coverage. The US-based major doctor group affiliation of medical faculties and doctors demands the medical system report for the Medicare for All system coverage that would actually offer the reasonable accessibility for universal health care by expanding the very common concept shared by the Medicare system currently existing in the US healthcare system to provide a greater and affordable health services for people throughout the nation. I don't really need to think twice about it. It's very obvious. See? I really actually had it done. a death toll rises from the mysterious coronavirus in China. It means that more and more people are actually being sentenced to death because of that. I have already actually covered it a lot. There has been an estimation that North Korea may probably seek a new path to find a breakthrough for this ongoing nuclear talks, as this, deal is about to face its expiration, and that is really already clarified and bound by the possible deadline set out by the United States. This has been on the verge of being exterminated or even actually expired. That's really the reason North Korea probably at this moment would actually pave the new pathway to the sustainable diplomatic relationships with the United States. This type of relations could actually be easily estimated as North Korea may attempt to find a new road, a new passage to the peace talks for a nuclear deal. And that has been predicted by the international affairs analysts. That's what I've been saying. It's really easy. You think that I have to think twice about it? I never. Huh. An Iranian rebel officer offers $3 million for whoever kills Donald Trump from the military group from the Iranian Authority and part of the rebellious Iranian rebel group. As an officer, offers $3 million for anyone who would actually, be enabled to kill Donald Trump. As long as, you can actually kill and remove Donald Trump by having his, head. It means to decapitate him. That would actually give, $3 million reward money. Of course I remember reward money. It means Donald Trump's body has been, right now, put down with the reward money. That amounts to $3 million at this moment. That means that there will be a reward money as long as you somehow manage to kill and decapitate Donald Trump, and there is a hefty price that you can be rewarded with. How much money would it be? $3 million. Do you want me to write that down, how much money that might be? Of course, it's really easy. $3 million. This is really the amount you can actually ever get. Wow, this is really a great amount of money. You can never obtain that, right? Right now, on Donald Trump's head, there has been this much great amount of reward money placed by such rebel forces in the Republic of Iran, right? Dad accidentally shoots himself while playing wrestling with his son, police say. While actually being in a wrestling fight and competition by actually playing a game with his son, Dad accidentally misfires a gun to shoot himself. Have I missed it? Giuliani associate lab partners asked the Attorney General William Barr to recuse himself from the case. I mean, Giuliani associate means close confidant or close connected ties of Giuliani lab partners asks current Attorney General, the head of the Justice Department, William Barr, to actually recuse himself from the case. That means, you know what, would you just leave me alone? Would you actually rule me out from this investigation? I just don't want to be, you know, part of this investigation. Can you actually count me out? This has been actually officially stated by this actual associate named Lev Panars, who actually, you know, already laid down the very fundamentals for the impeachment trial by having this, you know, dramatic interview with the AC360. I had actually heard that. I'm not lying. No, it's never been wrong. Let me actually saw it. Yeah. Bloomberg says impeachment is not good, but he would vote to convict Donald Trump. Bloomberg actually says that impeachment procedure is not really helpful in the wake of a new presidential election because the people should actually be given power to vote for impeachment. The impeachment itself is not really that much a welcoming procedure because, you know what, there should be greater power to people, or at least, you know, this would be very much a dishonorable case for the United States. However, if he would actually be given a power to actually pass the judgment on Donald Trump, then he would actually be for to convict Donald Trump by actually passing a guilty sentence to him. If there is any choice he could ever make as a part of the Senate, or he would be any given choice to mediate the circumstances as an arbiter who can't truly actually, you know, issue a statement to reflect whether he would actually be guilty or not, then, you know, Bloomberg would be happy to say yes, he's guilty. But although he has no faith in this impeachment system because, you know, impeaching the incumbent president is a great disgrace and dishonor undertaken by the nation, right? So Bloomberg says that impeachment is not necessarily good. I never miss anything. No, I only... Too many tweets to create chaos and words of record renewing attempts as so many, you know, different pairs of tweets are being brought to word. This kind of, you know, enormous propagation of tweets truly actually created chaos by multiplying the same pairs of the equal entities, almost non-distinguishable from their looks, that actually created chaos in the society. Have I missed anything? I didn't miss anything, right? I never actually wanted to see it. I never waited. That's so not true. You know what? Let me actually say this. If you ever actually, you know, feel very skeptical of my immediate understanding, let me actually turn this on. See whatever that might be on top of the screen or bottom of the screen. Let me actually pick out one and how little amount of time that I would be in need of to understand and memorize the entirety. Let's try to actually see that. To see. A dad is currently charged with the smuggling and trafficking his son and his son's associates at the high school wrestling match to induce, such a disruption by, when trafficking those people who might actually be part of this deal. That kind of, constant smuggling tactics that has been notified by this dad. Currently, this dad is, under investigation for being accused of trafficking the actual wrestling match participants, right? I did actually a great job, right? Australian nature is under siege by a golf ball size hail. There is a hailstorm that's been actually happened in Australia. So Australia itself is under siege. It has been besieged by a golf ball size hail that's been actually pummeling on the surface of Australia. I don't really need to think twice about it. Let me actually show you. Anything. Donald Trump rips the impeachment trial to pieces for days before the Congressional Senate trial begins by lashing out at his foes. Donald Trump literally harshly criticizes his own political enemies by actually, tarnishing and challenging the very authority of the impeachment trial as nothing but an injustice before the Congressional Senate trial truly takes off. Okay? Have I been missing? A New Jersey cop fatally shoots himself after wrecking a car. After, he smashes a car, for whatever reason, he just actually crashes into a wall where he actually completely, plunders his car. Then this New Jersey cop truly, lethally, accidentally shoots himself to the very fatal condition. He somehow experiences a life-threatening fatality. He's not really dead. However, after this, misfire created by his own accidental behavior, by pulling a trigger accidentally, this actually causes enormous damage to him to experience a fatal and life-threatening lethal moral damage, okay? Moral, lethal, fatal. This is very serious damage. You think that this would be difficult? Let me actually show you. Bloomberg says life would have been turned out differently if I were on attack or if I were elected to face that charges. I mean, if the charges procedure, I mean, that's what it says. Bloomberg in reality says that life would have been much different, or life would have been completely turned around or differently played out in a hypothetical scenario if I were on attack, if I were in a remotest possible chance, if he would actually be the very person in the middle of this, challenge, by actually being sworn into the office to experience this, or even actually being target of this, accusation, or things would have been much different. Life would have never be the same. This kind of, a variation that would be unpredictable, even if he had been the very part of this systematic, support or attack. And that's what has been said. At least this is a hypothetical scenario. At least, what the life consequence can be very much different than what it is now. In this hypothetical assumption, you think that this would be difficult? A Stanford student found dead. Currently, a student from Stanford University is found dead inside the on-campus fraternity house. If you ever actually visit, at the college campus, there is a fraternity house for, boys, and a sorority houses for women, right? But the thing is, inside this on-campus fraternity house, there is a student from Stanford University found dead. I mean, what have I missed? I don't really need to think twice about anything. Shortly before this impeachment trial, Donald Trump's approval rating as a president of the United States holds very solid foothold. That means it remains very solid and rock solid. It suffers no immediate setback by reflecting the current impeachment trial going on or that is about to take place inside the Senate. Shortly before the actual take place of the impeachment trial on the Senate floor, Donald Trump's approval rating as a president of the United States still remains pretty much solid and stable. Okay? Is that difficult? I don't need to think twice about it. Whoa, that's true. This is really reflective of my theory. The concentration of the wealth has been much significantly intensified throughout the last decade. That means, throughout the last 10 years, at least the number of billionaires has doubled up. That means, the actual number of people who actually would belong to the class or category of the billionaires somehow experiences its enormous growth to be doubled up. That means, it has been a double down intensity to have, a much greater number, almost two-folded, 2 times greater than what it used to be about a decade ago. That means, in the first place, we actually, about a decade ago, we actually had almost 10 different number of billionaires in our society, per se. Then after this, decade, very troublesome with the, wealth concentration and income inequality and parallel society phenomenon that had only been worsened throughout this history after the financial crisis, which only actually, kept the system, the perfect stability to let the party go, right? After that, we actually had 20 different people as billionaires. This is really an example. Of course, a number of billionaires has doubled up. Why it's been has, even after so many billionaires out there? Because the focal points has been set on a number. A number of billionaires has doubled up and double folded. That means, 2 times greater number of people have just been titled or crowned as a billionaire, okay? What have I missed it? You fucking loser. You know what? I would never actually be downplayed by you. I would never actually be thumbed down by you. I would never be ignored by you. I would never be disempowered by you. I would never be bullied by you, moron. You scumbag. Anything. I'm not really so sure this is really the place where Wizard of Oz is truly actually, loses one of his shoes. I don't know. Earthquake hits, southern Kansas. The U.S. state named Kansas, especially for the southern part. Southern means the lower, underneath the bottom part of this U.S. state named Kansas, experienced a significant earthquake. Truly, an earthquake hits, the southern Kansas. That's what has been said. What if I missed it? Do you think that this would be difficult? This type of catastrophic experience would have caused a serious calamity to challenge my perception? Fuck you. Whatever. Queen insists. Win. I don't really need to think. I just really want to write down the right word. That's been there. That's it. No, not mine. Win. Bernie Sanders claims and insists he has always believed, and he has had such an enormous faith with no wavering instability, that a woman as a female presidential candidate can truly carry the great title by winning the presidency to become a president of the United States. In the face of this controversy, as he actually snubbed the possibility of a woman winning the presidency by saying this word to Elizabeth Warren, according to the actual claim by Elizabeth Warren, Bernie has whispered this message into her ear, saying that a woman as a female candidate has no chance of winning the presidency in the United States. This type of underestimation of the women potentials had already been notified by Elizabeth Warren, but you know what? Bernie Sanders tries his best to extinguish this fire, as he claims and insists at this moment. He has always believed that a woman, as a female presidential hopeful and a candidate, truly can win the presidency by making one's way into the White House. That could be possible. Bernie Sanders claims that he's always believed it. He's always had enormous faith in the future of having a woman as a female president. That could be possible and thinkable in the future. Women can always equally win the case by making one's own great success, by being elected as the President of the United States. And Bernie Sanders at this moment insists he has always believed, and he has always held on to that belief. Okay? Have I missed it? No, still not true. What have I missed it? I never actually missed it. Never missed anything. Alan Dershowitz says at this moment, Donald Trump cannot be removed from his office by being eliminated through the impeachment procedure, even if the abuse of presidential power is truly proven by this impeachment trial. Even if this, clues that's been actually holding President Donald Trump accountable for violating the presidential power through the abuse and malusage of presidential executive order, Even if that case is proven, that would never be sufficient and great enough to remove and kick him out of his office. That's been argued at this moment. Alan Dershowitz said. Okay? I don't really need to think twice about anything. I'm 100% certain. You never actually made a mistake. I'm not lying, I swear to God. Very obvious. Let's try to actually play a game. I never actually miss it. Chaos in Puerto Rico as mobs find one's own way into the unused, disastrous, local scrap heap, or even natural ingredients mining places or grocery shops. This type of chaos goes on as the mobs currently make their active movement to plunder the region. That's what has been said in Puerto Rico after the immediate earthquake follow-up. I don't really need to repeat it to not actually think that it would be automatic. Let me actually say this one to you. Please dream on. In your dream, I would have probably masturbated. And no matter how many people you would have probably, employ, I would never be convinced by their trial. Because I have my own main squeeze. I wouldn't really need to actually have another one. I can't afford it. Let me actually tell you this. You know what? I would never actually have a great faith in other people after this type of very, horrendous trial. This is really a harrowing saga, which completely, pummeled out the belief in humanity by actually turning me into such a disbeliever who actually had no, serious modicum of a belief in humanity. Those people are actually constantly, plotting against me. And do you honestly think that I would be bought into their system to have, such a plentiful of emotions favoring their efforts and trials, no matter what they do, no matter what type of money you would actually put on any person in search of my masturbation, then I would actually probably dismiss this case. There was no chance I would ever wanted to actually do anything. That's really a ridiculous argument. Carranza slams at the grandstanding in Queens by bashing the system and educational trial of the grandstanding, further infuriating and enraging Queen's parents in the Queen's educational system. Carranza slams at the grandstanding by actually, pummeling the great system of the grandstanding in the Queen's public education system. Through this, more and more Queen's parents are currently being infuriated, are actually being enraged and frustrated with anger and fury and ire. Well, what am I missing? I don't really need any type of a thingy. No, just say something. You want to actually see how quickly I can actually see it? Yeah. No, I never miss it. The next megacide disasters and natural calamities and catastrophes that could truly happen and take place at any time with no notification and prediction by any given possibility and by any given moment, that could actually kill us all at any given moment. This could, be the true case by having this disaster. I mean, these are really the possible scenario. What am I missing? I never actually repeated it. That's really a ridiculous argument. No, Carranza slams at the, grandstanding, bashing in the system of the grandstanding. Never actually miss it. Never actually miss anything. I had it written down the, never miss anything. Slammed. Carranza slams the grandstanding, bashing the system of the grandstanding in Queens. I never actually missed anything. Further infuriating Queen's parents. I have never actually. You can actually see the lash. Rain the lashes in. This is really fine. I really need to. This is really perfectly fine. I never missed anything. Infuriating Queen's parents. I never actually missed anything. This is a ridiculous argument. You want to see how quickly I can actually read something? Bernie Sanders' surrogates. That means that the representatives and proxies supporting Bernie Sanders at this moment demand and call for and ask for truth, peace agreement with Elizabeth Warren. No more, carving out your, commonly shared, political base by actually fighting against each other to reveal your vulnerabilities. This means, if you ever actually get in a fight with one of your kind, you would actually reveal your own grave vulnerabilities by digging up your own grave, right? This would eventually come back to haunt you literally this amounts to digging up your own grave. You've been actually laying down the road to your own demise. If you ever actually wanted to, fight a tit-for-tat nasty battle with Elizabeth Warren, with whom you actually share just so many things, as Bernie Sanders, as a person, shared just so many different political viewpoints with Elizabeth Warren, that actually somehow leads to possible division of the political base leaning toward the liberal ideas in the United States, right? This type of liberal political spectrum has been beautifully carved up to share their own divisions. One for Bernie Sanders and the other for Elizabeth Warren. But the surrogates, proxies, and syndicates for Bernie Sanders at this moment demand there should be immediate stop. Let's try to actually put this aside by calling a peace agreement. That's what has been demanded. Because if you ever actually think of yourself in a greater than the system, then you might actually lose your supporters who would actually make their departure from this position. Then it wouldn't be great for you to actually put an end to this constant nasty tit-for-tat fight with Elizabeth Warren. Otherwise, you could actually witness a mass exodus of supporters because of this type of open up of vulnerabilities and wounds would eventually dismantle the credibility of yours. This is what has been actually said to Bernie Sanders amongst all different followers and representatives and proxies and syndicates of Bernie Sanders. Of course, surrogate means, it could actually be anything that would represent someone on behalf of that person. Please, forgive my actual mispronunciation. I actually mispronounced that. I never wanted to pronounce the S at the end, but it sounds a really kind of whispering sound that has been actually blurted out. A veterinarian. That means a veteran. The military veteran who has a prosthetic legs, artificial legs, or repossessed by taken away from them is getting a new pairs. A veteran who is a prosthetic. Prosthetic means, artificial and created, deliberately created to replace the artificial connection of your body as you're actually becoming an amputee. If you're actually experiencing mutilation by chopping off your legs and limbs, by being engaged with warfare, you would be recognized as a damaged veteran. This type of veteran is expected to receive a new pairs because, their legs are likely to be taken away from them for furbishing or they would experience a significant surgery operation to be separated from the old appearance of a prosthetic legs as a prosthesis, then they are expected to actually get the new one. I never actually missed it. Turkish President Erdogan slams European allies for not aiding and helping Libya in time of crisis. But I know that, just like the last ad, you can actually say that. In certain, occasion I saw that. It could actually be, a slam at someone, dart at someone. There is a secondary usage I saw it. But I normally, alone by myself, never actually misuse this usage of slams, as I have already actually, repetitively, perpetuated this culture, calling it slams. Because, what, I actually, forgot to write down the, meeting. That's the real reason. I was on my rush, forgot to actually add the meeting, but everything was there, so I actually, tried to take a detour by saying that this actual meeting, the bashing at the very system, you can actually say that. I'm not lying. There is, multiple ways to actually use proposition, but throughout my history, I have never actually used that. He bashes me. And he slams me. It's a fine. It's really fine. He slams me. But you can actually say he lashes at me. But he actually throws a criticism at me. And you can actually say that he slams. He slams, vitriol at me, or into me. It's really fine. I saw multiple choices. But throughout my entire history, I never actually made this kind of mistake. This is not a mistake that I actually was not aware of that. But I can actually, think of many different uses that would actually guarantee the very consolidated relationship with the slam. I saw it different usages, but that has never been my mistake. Let me actually go back to what I had written down. I'm actually very confident. I never made a mistake. I'm not lying. Yeah, truly, I had it written down there. Courageous slams at the great, standing. I actually, said that. This is really the place that I actually written down. Courageous slams at the great standing by bashing the actual system of the great standing in Queens, further infuriating Queen's parents. That's what I said. I'm not lying. I actually, use this one to actually indicate the actual location where this, event would take place, even adding that, bashing the very, system of the grandstanding in Queens. Further, I actually had it written down in this way. Courageous slams at the grandstanding in Queens, bashing the very system of the grandstanding, further infuriating and angering and enraging Queen's parents. And or whatever I actually written in. I've never actually made a lie. I've already actually used this more than 1,000 times. Turkish president. It means Turkish president. Of course I know it. And what do we actually call this people of Turkish? Turks. Right? Turkish President Erdogan slams European ally by not helping and aiding and assisting Libya in trouble. Libya has been actually torn between different pieces. Majority. I don't want to actually mention this one. This is a different story. I don't need to. Lost in space. It means that you don't really know where to go. You feel like you've been actually abandoned or deserted in the vastness of space. The internet trolls the U.S. military service over the international space dominance battle to actually gain an edge in controlling of the international spatial service technology for overviewing the high technology security service for the International Space Station as well as the International Space Control. The United States military services is being targeted by the actual troll and on the internet, which has been constantly lagging behind the system to actually keep and maintain its own creep on the power through surveillance and the oversight of the U.S. military system, closely connected to cybersecurity through the Pentagon. I don't really need to think twice about it. It's very obvious, right? Ha. See how quickly. I know, I never miss it. I already had done that. 너무 했어요. 다 맞았어요. Yeah. I never actually miss anything. I'm not lying. Let me actually show you. I don't need to actually be defeated by anything. I'm actually this much fast. Ex-Bankman. Chris Wallman's trial kicks off a new trial on the Long Island. Chris Maxwell. Ex-Bankman Chris Wallman kicks off at this moment new trial in Long Island over the actual financial fraudulency. I don't really need to think twice about it. It's very obvious. Victim of sexual trafficking fights off the chartered the webpage of the Darkins to actually demand justice over the case. That's what has been said. Let me actually stop it because I feel so hungry. Or I would actually probably do, you know what? Okay, how quickly I can actually do this, how easily I can handle it. Let me show you. What I want to actually say is don't actually hesitate it. Just actually give me a damn sentence immediately. I don't want to be bothered by this time lagging. It's really disgusting. That means, you know, I would actually be seen as such a sluggish reader. Just turn it on and I would read it. I'm not lying. I don't really like it. Just simply, you know what, give a new sentence. No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I never missed anything. Cuomo plans to overhaul the Medicaid system, which is really a medical help for those, you know, poverty-stricken, by cutting the actual system to maintain this minimum line up to 6.1 billion as a default line. I never miss any. Please, you know what? I want you to actually give me a new sentence immediately. Don't try to actually hesitate. That's very disgusting. I don't want to actually do it. If I ever actually turn it off and there was a new sentence, then I would accept it. But if there was no new sentence, I would never do it. I never hesitated. I never reread it. I'm actually that much perfect. I never actually read it. No, that's really unfair. Let me actually show it. No. I mean, what? They're really easy. I was never been late. De Blasio's subway homelessness policy. homelessness policy criminalizes no-home panhandlers. Those homeless panhandlers are likely to be incriminated or criminalized. They're actually likely to be criminalized because they actually have no place but to stay at the local stations. But this kind of kickoff would normally have a greater consequences by criminalizing those homeless panhandlers or the homeless, shelterless people normally staying on the line. I'm not lying. I never actually made a mistake. I'm not lying. I want to actually demonstrate that it's really unfair. If you ever actually give me a new sentence, please notify how quickly I can actually turn it on. I'm not lying. See? Anything. No, I've never actually turned. I was never been late. That's so not true. If I ever actually remove this one, then there is a new sentence. See how quickly I can actually see it. I have never lied to anyone. I know, that's so not true. I never double tried it. Yeah, already had done that. I had done that. No, so not true. I was never been second to anyone. That's so not true. I've never been in my entire life. I would have never been second to anyone. No, so not true. I have never been second to anyone. In my entire life, I have never actually been beaten by anyone. You can actually see that, how quickly I can actually read anything. I don't really need to think twice about it. To me, it's very obvious. The U.S. Senate to begin a formal arguments in the impeachment trial. I was this much quick. I have never been late. This is total lie. I only need to see something once. I don't only need to see it twice. I never... The House managers will open the case by citing articles of impeachment to convict Donald Trump as a president of the United States guilty for abusing one's power. We'll do it quickly. I don't really need to think twice about it. I have never actually chosen anything. I'm not lying. Let me actually show you. I feel really offended. I have never skipped anything. I have never actually skipped anything. I was, that's much too fast. That they've been actually lying about it. I have never hesitated. I'm actually much faster than other people. You want to see? Trump would have loved to stare down at the Democrats in the Senate who have been leading this type of impeachment by actually looking down at the impeachment trial. I've been actually much faster than the people. Trump would have actually, really loved to stare down at the, Democrats who've been actually leading this impeachment trial by literally, challenging their perception. This is really easy. I don't really need to think twice about it. I have never lied. I don't really need to think. This is really a ridiculous argument. The moment I would be given a new sentence, and when was really the time that I ever hesitated? That's really a total ridiculous argument. Let me actually show you how quickly I can actually read any U.S. sentences. I have never hesitated, never actually agitated. Let me actually show you how quickly I can actually read any given sentences with a plain understanding. I have never hesitated. That's so not true. Shoot. Tesla slams the completely false safety security guarantee complaint. Oh shit. Tesla slams completely the false safety security guarantee complaint. That means, you know, Tesla slams the completely false and completely bogus safety guarantee complaint. To me, it's very obvious. I was never being beaten by anyone. I never actually hesitated. I mean, why would you even actually say that I had a mistake about this? I said it. You know, Karenza. I never actually admit that I had made a mistake. Karenza slams at the very, you know, facility of a crane. I never actually made a mistake. Crane standing. I thought that this is really the place. By bashing, I had it written down in that way. By bashing the system. That's not really wrong. By bashing the system of the crane standing. This is not really something wrong. This is a really ridiculous idea. I never actually made a mistake. In my entire life, I have never actually made a mistake about the, you know, usage of slime. I thought that this is just a propagation for the actual place. I never made a mistake. I really actually said that Karanja slams at the crane standing by bashing the system of the crane standing, further infuriating Quinn's parents. I have never actually made a mistake. I consider this as a propagation for the place, and I was perfectly right about it. Karanja slams the actual circumstances at the crane standing by bashing the system of the crane standing. Tesla slams the completely false and bogus safety guarantee complaint. I never actually, you know what, made a mistake. I would never accept that one. Because I'm actually far faster than other people. I'm actually much, you know what, safer and smarter than other people. So those people who have only been speaking English, they're really stupid. Because the only language they know to speak is English. Let me actually show you. I'm not lying. Let me really show you. I don't really need to think twice. I never hesitated. No, so not true. I don't really need to. I only see something once. No. That kind of, you know what, trial is really an asshole work. You know what? Give me a new sentence immediately. I want you to actually give me the new sentence immediately. I don't need to search for it. Then it only actually, you know what, slows down the very progress. I don't really need to think twice about it. As long as there is a new sentence, I can actually, you know, understand it. No, average and folks, no. No, never. I'm not average. I actually got everything correct. Not average. I'm not average. Average folks remain optimistic on the market economy as the stocks performance goes like gangbusters. That means it's really amazing. I never actually dropped the S. I never actually missed anything. Let me actually show you. I'm not that person who would actually be average. Let me actually show you how great I am. I would never be beaten by their asshole bullshit tactic. No, it's so not true. I was never being beaten by them. I'm not lying. I can actually, you know what, guarantee that I have never made any mistake. If there is any mistake that I've been actually made, you can actually say that I'm actually being average. But I was never being average. Let me actually show you. I'm actually genius. Every single time there is a new sentence, how many little seconds I can use it? I don't really need to. Oh. You know what? Don't try to actually be this much sluggish. So not true. Which is so not true. I'm not lying. I know this one. I like this. LinkedIn. This is resume website. LinkedIn, as a resume website, has discriminated me by pulling off a discriminatory policy against me because of my political belief and endorsement, and political ideologies. Yeah, because of my political ideologies and political support, endorsement, and a political belief. That's what has been said. I never actually has it. LinkedIn is really the very site used by American people to post their resume, and it has never been really the choice that I made a mistake. I have never made a mistake. See? I have never actually been late. Never. I was this much fast. I know Donald Trump praises Tesla and Elon Musk as a founder of the Tesla by comparing him to Thomas Edison. That's what has been said. I really need to think twice about it. How many times LinkedIn has discriminated me by pulling off, a discriminatory policy against me because of my political belief, endorsement, color, and political ideologies? I have never actually made a mistake about it. I have actually said the political ideologies. Is that really a scene? I have actually said the political ideologies. Is that really a scene that I've made a mistake? Do you not think so? I have never been beaten by anything. I'm actually much faster than any other average American people. Let me actually show you. Oh, so not true. So not true. This has never been a business. Let me actually show you. I have a very constant. This is not at all challenge or difficult quiz or anything that would be, anything unusual. Because I have a tendency to demonstrate that this has been a constant case. I never actually really need to suffer from anything. This is a very obvious scenario. I don't really need to. Let me actually show you. As long as there is a new sentence I would actually hit up on. I never. Google's a parent company, Alphabet. I actually forgot written that down. Having written that down, that's what I want to say. Google's a parent company, Alphabet. He's $1 trillion value, $1 trillion value for evaluation for the market performance. But my question is, why have I been actually, targeted as being, such a grammatical rule breaker? I had it written down in this way, just as it has been actually written down. I don't really think that I have ever made a mistake. I normally actually, had a clear understanding about the slimes. That I actually dismissed the object, right? Object is missing, and I use it as a proposition to indicate this place. The grain standing. I never miss it. Koreans are slaves at the grain standing, tell the truth. I have never actually missed it. By bashing the system of the grain standing. That's what I said. I have never made a mistake. Further infuriating parents and queens I have never actually missed anything. Then you can actually say that I actually made a mistake. I'm not lying. As long as there is a new sentence begging you to have a new sentence ready on the bottom, then you can actually measure how little amount of time that I truly use for a new sentence that I've never seen before. I'm really fast and super fast. No, never. I'm not really second on the page. I'm actually much faster than. I don't really need to. The danger sequence on the Facebook precedent policy management on nudity and nullity of the privacy. I never had any difficulty. People actually should take a glance at how quickly I can actually see that. I wasn't ever being actually dangerous, not at all. I'm actually far faster than any other people in the United States. Let me actually show you. This is really kind of watershedding point. I was never been late than any other people. No, never been a second page. Spotify makes, you know what? A mace. I actually mispronounced it. Spotify makes pet pew lists as a playlist for lonely pets. I was never been late. I'm this much quick. Who the fuck you think you are to say that I'm actually being slower than average people in the United States? That's not true. Spotify is, you know what? Music streaming service called a Spotify that actually makes, you know what, pets and pew list. Yeah, it's really a poll list. You know, I've actually written down in that way. Pets a poll list as a playlist for lonely pets that should actually be streamed when their master is not there, when their owner is out of house. This lonely pet can be coddled with this beautiful songs that have been. No, I'm not lying. What if I missed it? I'm not lying. I have never actually made a mistake. No, I'm actually being really angry. Oh. Never made a mistake. I have never actually looked into anything twice. This has been turned off. Just actually write down in a correct way. I never made a mistake. Spotify as a music streaming service makes in a poll list for pet animal playlists. For streaming music for lonely animals, when their owners or masters would be out of house, they would be left alone. When they were actually lonely, they could be cuddled with this appeasing and soothing music that would be actually selected by the Spotify, or that could be ever given to any owners, as long as they actually purchase the subscription to Spotify as a music streaming service online subscription program. What about this? You know, I never actually missed it. I'm actually much faster than American people. I'm not lying. I don't really need to. Twitter suspends Grindr advertisement or ad campaign over the privacy breach or security concerns. Twitter announces its a suspension to put this Grindr advertisement campaign on hold in the wake of the possible concerns concerning the privacy and the security. I have never actually said concerns. I've been actually using it a little amount of time. No, never. It's never been a page 2. I would have never accepted. I'm actually faster than other people. Are you freaking crazy? I was never been actually late than other people. That's a ridiculous total lie. I was never been late in terms of metro. What am I actually missing? I never miss anything. LeBron James and Mace went to surprise a drive in Harlem to celebrate the B-Day and a custody for the black teen and supports other black kids with the bikes and a present by actually demonstrating his commitment to the black community in Harlem. I never actually made a mistake. I never actually lied about anything. Never. I already had done that. 아까 했잖아요. I was never been the same person. A judge postponed the sentencing Nifsim account trial with no appointment for resumption and resuming the case in sight endlessly almost. I don't really need to think about it. It's so not fair. So even actually lying. Have you ever noticed that? A disgraced lawyer, Michael Avenatti, being allocated to in the vicinity and range of the cell El Chapo honorably holds, right? This is really the very disgrace that has been experienced by a lawyer named Avenatti, because he actually broke this, bailout rules. For that reason, he's been actually sent back to jail at this moment. Yeah, I never actually missed it. I actually really none. There's never been. Seikahar, never missed anything. Oh. Yeah, very good. I never actually had anything. Surgery, patient unconscious. I've been perfect. And I'm actually 100% sure. This is how much accurate I am. You see that? Sacred Heart Hospital mad a student. Gets busted for sharing a nude and naked photo of a surgery patient by divulgating it. I never actually missed anything. I'm not lying. Oh, I was a really kind of, an angry position to actually, didn't notice that I had written down something wrong. Oh my gosh, that's a really kind of thing that could actually happen. I thought that I had it written down as busted. When was really the time it has been written down as a busting? But you know what, never actually mind. Being busted is very great. Everyone actually knows what that means. I didn't realize that I had made this mistake. Oh my gosh, what have I actually made? I thought that he was just being caught. That's what I wanted to say. No, this is not a mistake. I actually said it written down in that way. Don't worry. Everyone knows they know what busted means. You actually just take a picture of this person, then you've been actually, you know what, just got caught. I never actually made a mistake. I'm not lying.